the second part concerned with the cellular respiration. In the last lecture, I have discussed how ATP is formed. ATP is formed when inorganic phosphate is attached with adenosine diphosphate and it is converted into ATP adenosine triphosphate, an energy-rich molecule that provides energy for all the biochemical reactions taking place in our body. And we have discussed the energy is required to attach this phosphate with adenosine phosphate, and that energy comes from a process, a chemical process of cellular respiration. It is the process of cellular respiration that provides energy for attaching this phosphate with adenosine diphosphate to form high energy rich molecules or compounds ATP. And when ATPs are formed, how they provide energy for various biochemical reactions in our body? By splitting this third phosphate. And like all the chemical reactions, this reaction also requires an enzyme ATPase. ATP is broken into adenosine diphosphate plus phosphate, and this reaction releases energy. For this reaction, an enzyme ATPase is required. ASE is the typical ending of an enzyme. And for this reaction, a cofactor, calcium ions are required, which others this reaction and help ATPase to split apart that third phosphate. And when that third phosphate is split, it is broken, the ATP is broken into adenosine diphosphate and phosphate and releases energy. And that is the energy that provides power for muscle contraction. That is the energy that provides power for cell division, for cell growth, and for generation of nerve impulse. And living things, including human beings, break three types of organic compounds in order to release energy, and that energy is utilized to attach phosphate with adenosine diphosphate to form ATP. Primarily, the living things, including human beings, break apart carbohydrates to release energy in order to make ATP. But apart from carbohydrates, human body and certain other living organisms also break fats. And thirdly, proteins are also broken to release energy to form ATP. Carbohydrates are the central key for understanding this process, and later on we will discuss how fats and proteins feed in to form acetyl sugars, and depending upon the presence or absence of oxygen, then later on we will discuss the aerobic phase of respiration. So first, the carbohydrates are broken into certain sugars called acetyl sugars, and this will occurs in two phases. One is the anaerobic phase and second is the aerobic phase. First we will discuss anaerobic phase, that is known as glycolysis. So here we move on to the anaerobic phase. Anaerobic phase of respiration, as I have told you, sugars are broken in two phases. One requires the oxygen and the other do not require oxygen. This is the first phase, anaerobic respiration. And this phase, we say anaerobic. The word aerobic means it is related with the oxygen, and when you put the prefix "an" in front of the aerobic respiration, "an" means without, aerobic means oxygen. So this reaction does not require oxygen. And where it occurs? It occurs in cytoplasm out of the mitochondria, and this breaking down of glucose into two molecules of pyruvic acid is called glycolysis. Glycolysis. If you break the term glyco means glucose or sugars. Glyco means glucose or sugars. And lysis is a Greek root, means splitting apart, breaking. Lysis means breaking. So what is glycolysis? It is splitting apart, breaking apart glucose into Pyruvate sugars are pyruvic acids. And this reaction does not require oxygen, so we say it is anaerobic phase of respiration.